Hey guys, happy June. Thank you for tuning in. Today's class is going to be a core focused flow class, so it's going to be a little bit faster paced than what we've done in the last few sets. For today's class, I'm using 2 blocks. You can use anything that is heavier and sturdier if you'd like to. So these blocks are going to be used to add difficulty to the poses that we're doing, and then as always used to make things more accessible when needed. Before we get started, I want to let you know that I just recently got cupped, which is what all these hickeys are, like on my shoulders and upper back. So no reason to be like worried or freaked out or trying to figure out what's going on with me. I just had a really cool healing session. So just ignore all those and make your way onto your mat. We're gonna get started today seated, however you're comfortable. So if you need to elevate the hips, as always, slide a block or bolster underneath your sit bones and rise up on the hips. Let's sit one foot in front of the other rather than cross-legged crunching through the ankles. This way we give our hips a little bit more room to open outwards. And just start to find some height in your spine. So I like to kind of wiggle a little bit side to side and roll through the shoulders, and then imagine stacking my shoulders right over my hips and then my ears right over my shoulders. And each time you breathe in, you can imagine being pulled upward through the crown of the head, and then each time you exhale, we're going to engage through the low belly, pulling the belly button towards the spine to kind of lock that in. So close your eyes and start to just feel what this alignment feels like in your body. Start to welcome some deep, slow, even breaths in and out through the nose. Allow yourselves to get centered here. Not to worry about what you look like. Worry more about what you feel like here. You can flutter the eyes open. Let's take the arms out and up overhead and flip the palms up towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers. Take a few breaths here into the belly, into the front of the rib cage, maybe into the space between the shoulders. Just lift and open as deeply as you're comfortable here. When you exhale, lean yourselves over to the right, but keep your left sit bone on the ground. Use an inhale to come up and switch sides, leaning towards the left and keeping your right sit bone on the ground. Inhale to come up. Release your hands, take them to the fronts of your shins or your knees or wherever they're comfortable on the front side of your legs. We're going to use an inhale to draw the shoulders back and pull the heart forward, lifting up through the chest. And then you can kind of melt your upper body forward from here. As you exhale, round through the spine, draw back through the back body and tuck the chin, and you can use your legs here for some traction on your hands. So inhale, round the chest forward and melt yourselves downward. Exhale, press your core back, press back through the belly button and the spine. Keep that going, inhaling to slide forward and exhaling to round back. You can feel free to close your eyes here if you'd like and really tune into what this feels like in your body. See if you can articulate movement and sensation through the whole spine. So not just the lower or the middle back, but what's going on in the upper back here too, the space behind the heart. Continue to move with your breath. Explore different depth that feels good for you. Explore a pace that feels good for you. Do this 1 or 2 more times and we'll meet back in a neutral seat. Good, let's find that seat. So from here, you're gonna cross your left ankle over your right and come into a boat pose. So left ankle crosses over the right. You can have the hands on the earth behind you for support, or you can have the palms face up. Make sure you're not rounding through the low back. Pull the low belly in and lift up through the chest. Think about squeezing the knees in towards the body, so we're compressing into our center of gravity here. When you Exhale, place the left hand on the ground, take the right hand to the outer left leg and twist. For added challenge here, you might release the left hand from that ground. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together. And then let's release and switch which ankle is in front. So the right ankle goes in front, find your boat pose, and then again, set it up from the ground up. So make sure the low belly is engaged. You're not sinking into the low back. Thighs are squeezed towards one another and in towards the body. Sit tall. I'm already shaking from this. Take your left hand to the outside of the right leg. Exhale, right hand goes on the ground behind you and twist. Stay here, or for added challenge, release the right hand or lift it up. And then let's release, bring the soles of the feet together, and we'll just rock out from side to side. And then if it feels good to make some circles here in the lower part of the body, that way we just kind of undo any tension in the hips or the low back that we created. So bring yourselves into a tabletop shape. You'll stack your hips right over your knees, and then hands can be right under the shoulders or slightly forward of the shoulders if you've got any wrist sensitivity. And then take your hands wide on the mat. So oftentimes they'll tell you shoulders distance apart, but I like to go nice and wide and get enough real estate up here and take up space. So the knees are right underneath the hips. We're gonna take the belly button and pull it up towards the spine without tucking, so we're not exaggerating this, we're just engaging the core here. We have a nice neutral spine, not dumping into the low back. Bring your gaze straight forward. We're gonna reach the right hand forward, pressing into the left arm so we're not shifting into the shoulder. And then extend the left foot back. So right hand forward, left foot back. Ooh, I'm wiggling a little bit. And then reset the core. Pull the low belly in and up towards the spine. And stay here, finding your balance. It's okay if you shake. I like to tuck the back toes to help me with my balance. So we're gonna take our knee to our elbow 3 times on an exhale. So the next time you breathe out, connect the knee and elbow, tuck the chin. Breathe in, extend out nice and long. Breathe out, connect. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Breathe in, come out. And then exhale, set that down. Tuck both toes, both sets of toes. Sink your hips back onto your heels. Give your arms a break and a little nice underneath the foot stretch. I think I said we were gonna do 3 of those and we did 4. So we're gonna do 4 on the other side. Come into your tabletop shape 1 more time. Engage the core by pressing into the earth with the arms. You push the ground away from you to lift up through the low belly. Left hand goes forward, right leg goes back. Tuck the left toes for added support if you'd like. Check back in with your core. 4 times here. Breathe out and connect. Inhale, extend. Connect. Extend. 2 more. Last one, belly button to spine as you exhale. Again, hands come down, tuck the toes, sit back onto the heels, give the arms a break. If this ever hurts the toes, you can come off the toes. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders down away from the body, and then just open up into the front of the body. If it feels good to straighten your arms, go ahead. I don't like to because I hyperextend my elbows, but if that serves you, go ahead and take that. Okay, let's come all the way down onto the belly. Roll the shoulders deeply onto the back. Press the tops of the feet down and press the pubic bone into the ground. Keep sliding the shoulders away from the ears. We're gonna find 2 supported cobra poses and then 1 flying cobra. So take a breath in, lift up and pull forward through the chest. So the shoulders go back, chest forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up, forward through the chest. Exhale to lower. This time we're doing it with no hands. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers super wide. Again, take up space on your mat if that feels good in your body. And then start to welcome movement into the legs, into the low body. So I'm kind of pedaling out here 1 leg at a time. Another thing that I like to do is to kind of roll side to side through the hips, taking a nice outer hip stretch here. Look up at your hands at the top of the mat and take a breath in. Come to your tippy toes. As you exhale, bend your knees, hop forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, shoulders back, bring your gaze straight forward, nice flat back here. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach the arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, hands come into the heart, mountain pose. We're gonna flow through one traditional sun salutation. For this sun salutation, just because I wanna keep it core focused, we're gonna jump back into our chaturanga. If a jump back isn't something that you feel comfortable doing right now, that's okay. You can step yourselves back to plank and lower. So, feet are grounded. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale, fold forward with bent knees if you choose. Inhale, lift up halfway, shoulders away from the ears. Hips are stacked over the heels. Exhale, fold, step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. So you can come to the tops of the feet and lift the knees up off the ground, drawing the heart forward, or cobra pose as we did before. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep the core lifted and engaged. The low belly and mula bandha, which is your pelvic floor, are both pulling upward. Heels are heavy, thighs are lifted. Breathe in, look up at your fingertips, come to tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, hop forward and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, upward salute. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. We're gonna come into crane pose here. So lift up through the right knee. Keep the hands at the heart. The right thigh is about parallel to the ground. It's okay if you're wiggly here. Squeeze in and up through the low belly and the pelvic floor. Take the hands back and kick the right foot back for airplane pose. Keep the left thigh engaged. Soften into the left knee, right foot steps back. Come into a high lunge, sweep the arms overhead. Keep both hip points facing forward and even, so we're not pouring into one or the other here. Both legs stay engaged. The low belly is pulling in and up. Good. Come back into that airplane pose. So bring the weight back into the left leg. Right leg goes straight back, arms go back, core is engaged. Back to your crane pose. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot comes down and we fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Plant the hands. Step or hop back through chaturanga. Elbows bend into the sides. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep the thighs engaged. Inhale, right leg goes up and back with the toes pointing down. So we're not going to open the hips here. We're not going to let the hips rotate open. Keep that right hip point pointing down to the ground. When you exhale, take the right knee to the nose and push the ground away from you with your arms. So we're not simply swinging this knee forward and back. We're going to take it forward and then squeeze it into our body and push into the ground with our hands. Inhale, up and back. 2 more times like that. Breathe out. Breathe in. Last one, breathe out. Stay here. Step the foot between the hands. Come into warrior 2. So the back foot, your left foot, is going to spin down to the mat. Your hips open to the left side of the mat. Right knee stays bent forward. Arms go out to the side. Stay here and breathe. Make sure that you're not jutting out through the chest. Keep your core engaged and the ribs kind of drawing back. Come into peaceful warrior. Flip your right palm, reach back. The left arm can go down the back leg or it can wrap around the low body. Cartwheel both hands down to frame the right foot. Step the right foot back. Take a vinyasa here if you choose, or go right to downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Reset your core. Breathe in, look up at your hands. Come to tippy toes. Bend the knees, breathe out, hop it. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Hands to the heart, exhale. Come to crane pose on the second side. This is hard to do and talk at the same time, and I imagine I'll get better at this the more videos I make, but I'm kind of out of breath right now. But that's okay, I'm embracing it. Come into airplane pose, so left foot presses straight back, hands go back. Keep the core engaged. Step the left foot back, reach up through the hands. Back to your airplane pose, weight pours down through the right leg. Left foot is back, core is strong. Back to crane pose, hug the knee in towards the body, reach up with the hands. Set the left foot down, fold forward, exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, gaze forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back through chaturanga. For this one, I'm gonna step myself back into a plank and lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. I'm choosing cobra pose for this one. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so the left leg goes up and back with the toes pointing down. Keep the right heel heavy, and then 3 times we're taking the left knee to the nose and pushing into the ground with our arms. So big breath in. Exhale, knee to nose and push. Inhale, up and back. And push. One more. Exhale. Set the left foot down. Come into warrior 2. So the right heel spins down, the arms open up. Keep the thighs engaged, keep the ribs lifted here. Those of us with more flexible spines have a tendency to kind of pour into our low backs here. So you want a nice neutral pelvis, lifted ribs, core engaged. Find peaceful warrior, flip the left palm to the ceiling, reach it back. Cartwheel the hands down, exhale. Left foot steps back, take a vinyasa here if you choose. We're going to meet in child's pose. And I'm gonna go right there because I need to catch my breath. So knees can be on the mat either together or wide. You can sit the hips back over the heels and just reconnect with your breath here. Or any intention that you set. Wipe any sweat off your forehead if you need to. Or maybe you don't need to, that's fine too. So we're just gonna take a few moments of rest here. Your arms can be out in front of you. If your wrists need a break, you can always flip your palms up towards the ceiling or wrap them around by your body. All right, walk the hands forward, come back to your downward facing dog. Breathe in, look up at the hands, come to tippy toes. Exhale, hop it forward. Lift up halfway, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Mountain pose, hands to the heart, engage the core. All right, so we're gonna actually stay up at the top of the mat. I'm gonna face you so that you guys can see this here. So we're gonna come into a side stretch to open up through the obliques, and then we're going to do a sideways crane pose. So instead of leg forward, it's gonna be coming out to the side. And I really want you to focus on this outward opening of the inner thigh. So it's like you're rotating your whole leg bone outward, and we're gonna crunch through the sides to work through the obliques a little. So reach the arms up overhead, take your right wrist into your left hand, and stretch yourselves over to the left. Now we're going to step the right foot behind the left foot. Give yourselves a little bit of a squat into the left knee if you need to, and open up through the whole right side. So here comes that sideways crane pose. When you exhale, outward rotation of the right thigh, crunch the right knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, side stretch. 3 more, exhale, crunch it. Take it out. 2 more. And out. Last one. Woo! There you go, stretch that out. Back to neutral, give the shoulders a break, give the standing leg a break. We'll see if I can do a little better on this side. So arms are overhead, grab for the left wrist, lean yourselves over to the right, and then step the left foot slightly behind the right. So we're opening up through the whole left side. The next time you exhale, crunch the left knee to the left elbow. So far I'm not doing better on this side. Inhale, open it out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, out. 2 more. And last one. Awesome, back through neutral. Roll out the shoulders, shake out the standing leg. You're still at the top of the mat. So for this, we're gonna take the right big toe into the right peace fingers for standing hand to big toe pose. So this pose is a hamstring stretch, but it's also a balance intensive pose, or balance intense pose. Intensive, I'm gonna go with, I don't know. So I'm less worried about you straightening your lifted leg and more worried about you finding engagement and lift through the standing leg and the core. So peace fingers come to the right big toe, squeeze the right knee up towards the outer right armpit. Take your left hand to your hip, stand tall in the shoulders, and then work the right leg towards straight, which means it's okay if it doesn't straighten. You can keep a micro bend. I want you to think about lifting in and up through the low belly and staying strong in your standing leg. This is hard. It's okay if you're shaking. It's okay if you're wiggling. It's okay if you're running out of breath like me. We're gonna reach the left arm overhead and then take the left hand to the outside of either the right shin or the knee or the outer foot. Reach the right hand back, twist your torso to the right. Keep squeezing the right leg in towards your midline. It's okay if it's not straight. To add challenge here, you're gonna bring your gaze back towards the right hand. This always makes me wiggle a lot. Then with control, release the right leg, step it all the way to the back of the mat for warrior 2. So that left knee is gonna bend. Align the left heel with the arch of the right foot, both arms come out. So inhale, peaceful warrior again, reach the left hand back, come into triangle pose. So you straighten the left leg, reach forward with the left arm, and then the left arm comes down. The right arm, I like to sweep across my chest and make it dramatic and reach up for the ceiling. So left hand can stay on the foot, it can come to the ground or to one of your blocks. Bring your gaze up overhead, and now take your right hand, reach it towards the top of the mat for a nice stretch on the right side. Bend into the left knee, take the right hand down, and pivot onto the back toes. So right now we're in a low lunge. We're going to transition ourselves to a side plank on the right hand, on the right side of the mat. So the trick here is to take your hips high first before you pivot. So if you start sunken really low here, it's gonna be hard to pick the hips up once you get to the side plank. So lift the hips high, start to step the left foot back, and then work towards pivoting the hips to the left side of your mat. I'm on the knife edge of my right foot. My left hand is gonna come to my heart. My left foot steps back, and I reach up with the left hand. You can stay here, or you can try and pretty it up a little bit if you want to. Woo, that makes me wiggle, so I'm not gonna do that. Take 2 more breaths. Squeeze those hips up towards the sky. 1 more. Left hand comes down to the earth. Take a vinyasa here if you want to. So exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Breathe in, look up at the hands, come to tippies. Exhale, bend the knees, hop forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, rise up. And hands come to the heart, second side. So hand to big toe pose on the left side. Left peace fingers come to the left big toe. Notice what your hips do. Do you have a tendency to pop the right hip out? Does your weight end up feeling unevenly distributed? So bend the left knee into the chest. Take the peace fingers to the big toe. Lift up through the shoulders. Engage the left leg, or the right leg. Press the left heel forward. Keep that low belly plugged in and pulling up. Reach the right arm for the sky. Take the right hand to the outside of the left leg or reach for the outside of the left foot. Left arm goes back, the torso rotates to the left. For added challenge here, you can bring your gaze back to the left hand. Woo, I feel like I might fall on this one. That's okay if you're wiggling. Release the left foot with control, don't drop it down. Step it to the back of the mat, warrior two, open it up. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the right leg, reach forward with the right hand and then down. Left hand comes across the chest. Open everything out to the left side of your mat. Reach up with the left hand. Now take the left hand to the front side of your mat so you can feel a nice stretch here through the left side body. Left hand comes down to the earth. So we're in our low lunge. We're going to take our side plank on the left side this time. So remember, hips are high right away. I'm going to step my right foot just a little bit back so that I can start to pivot my hips towards the right. So hips pivot, come to the knife edge of the left foot. Keep your left hip high. Step the right foot back. You can keep the right hand at your heart or reach it up overhead or move your necklace out of your face. Take 2 more breaths here. One more. Woo! Right hand comes down to the left. Take a vinyasa here, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. This time we're going to hop ourselves into Malasana, a yogi squat at the top of the mat. So look up at your hands. We're going to hop our feet wider than our hands and sink our hips down. So when you exhale, the feet hop forward and wide, hips go down. Take the hands either to touch in front of the heart or keep them on the ground for stability. All I'm doing here is shifting my weight from foot to foot, finding which stance feels good for me. So we're going to take both arms forward. Try and sit as tall as you can through the spine. Now, as gracefully as possible, this isn't going to be very graceful, but that's okay. Come down onto your butt and come right into bow pose. So butt comes down, whew, legs go up. Lift up through the back. Squeeze the right knee in, kick the left leg forward and twist to the right. Exhale through center, switch sides. Exhale, switch sides. Exhale. Switch. One more each side. Exhale. Breathe in to the right. Breathe out center. Into the left. Out center. Whew. Bring the soles of the feet together. Rock that out of your hips. Nice job, you guys. All right, so here's where we're going to make this just a little bit more difficult using the blocks, only if you want to. If that last set of twists feels better for you, or any of the boat poses that we did in the beginning, if you prefer those, you can do those instead. To amp it up a little bit, we're going to take one block, squeeze it between your knees. I'm already scared about this. Take the second block, squeeze it between your hands, and really like push into the block and squeeze with your knees. Megan Curie, if you are familiar with her, she's a yoga teacher, she says bite the block. So bite the block with your knees, bite the block between your hands, shoulders down, lift up through the heart like you're pulling your heart into the block, and lean yourselves back. Come into your boat pose and squeeze. Stay here and breathe. So we're going to keep this in the legs. We're going to start to chop with the block. So arms overhead, chop to the right. Inhale up. Chop to the left. Come up. 2 more each side. Take a break if you need to. 1 more each side. Don't stop breathing. Keep squeezing through the legs, squeezing through the hands. Almost done. Last one. Come up. Oh, God. Set that all down. Soles of the feet come together. Rock that out. Get that out of the low back, the low body. So oftentimes when we talk about the core, people think that we're talking about your aesthetic six-pack or your hypothetical six-pack, because very few of us look like a Ken doll. But your core is actually all of the muscles that protect your spine. So it's the front body, the side body, the back body, and your deep core runs from your feet all the way up through the crown of your head. So the core is a very complex and full body system. We just worked a lot on the abs, on the low abs and the obliques. We're gonna come all the way down to our bellies and work on the core in the back body just a little bit, and then relax and have a nice Shavasana. So come down to your belly. We're gonna start by taking your knees a little bit wide on the mat, bend your knees and then rock the legs side to side. You can make a little pillow here for your head if you want to. All right, so extend the toes straight back behind you. We're gonna do locust pose. Locust pose is my least favorite pose. It's a lot of people's least favorite pose. It's very difficult to do while talking, so I'll do my best, but it's difficult to do in general. Please know that there are plenty of variations of locust pose, but I want you to take the one that feels best for you. What we are going to do, what I'm going to instruct, is first the upper body, then the lower body, then a combination. If you know any other locust that serves you in your practice, you can do those. We'll do them 3 times. So I want you to press the pubic bone downward towards the ground, so it's a slight tilt downward through the pelvis. And then think about your belly button being on the ground. So rather than pushing the pelvis into the ground, we're also engaging the belly and pushing the belly downward, if that makes sense. Not like pushing out, like we're pushing forward through the belly, but our weight wants to land on the belly button. So upper body first. Shoulders are away from the ears. We're gonna walk the hands back with the palms face down. A lot of people teach this palms face up, but to put the shoulders in their proper placement, our palms are gonna be face down. We're gonna draw the shoulders back and think about pulling the heart forward, pressing into the belly button and the pubic bone, engaging the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. Stay here, breathe in, maybe lift a little higher if it's comfortable, and then exhale to lower. Take a pillow with your hands. This time we're gonna involve the feet. So I'd like you to press your inner big toe mounds together. Press your pubic bone downward and then engage the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. My hands are gonna rest at my sides here with a neutral neck. And I just want you to lift your heels up towards the ceiling, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. Keep the low belly engaged. Stay here and breathe. 3, 2, and 1, lower. Whew, okay. Last set, we're involving the arms and the legs this time. So arms are back, shoulders are rolled deeply onto the back, pubic bone is down, core is engaged. We're gonna take a breath in, lift everything up, pull forward through the heart, squeeze the inner thighs. Breathe here for 3, 2, stay neutral in the neck, and 1. Release. Bend the heels towards the butt, rock the knees side to side. Press the hands into the earth, come up into a plank. We're gonna hop the feet forward and lie down on our back with our heads the other way. So feet hop forward, come to your bum, and then down to your back. So we're gonna take just one bridge pose to kind of wash all that out and just reconnect with our front body a little bit. And then anything else that you need, oh, maybe a twist, we'll add a twist. And then we'll take Shavasana. So ground down through the feet, point the toes and knees forward, hips distance apart. I wanna tell you something. Teachers often say, make sure that you can reach your heels. I have very, very short arms for my proportions, and I can't reach my heels. I have to scoot my heels past my butt if I'm gonna reach them. This is very unsafe for my knee alignment and for my low back. So don't ever make a teacher, or don't ever let a teacher make you feel like you need to reach your heels. Just walk your feet in a comfortable distance so your knees don't surpass your ankles, okay? All right, roll your shoulders onto the back, lift up through the heart, keep the core engaged. When you're ready, press down through all 4 corners of the foot, lift the hips, keep the neck neutral, gaze is up. Breathe deeply into the front body. And then from the top vertebrae down, we're gonna unwind the shoulders, and then from the top down, go nice and slow, lowering it down to the ground. Keep the core engaged the whole time. Whew. Drop both knees over to the left. Take the right arm off to the side. Bring your gaze over to the right if that feels good on the neck. And then drop both knees over to the right. Left arm goes out. Bring your gaze over to the left if that feels good. Come back through center. Reach hands and feet towards the ceiling. Roll out the ankles and the wrists and the fingers and toes. And then let everything come down to the mat. And rest here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. This is where I'm going to end the video. So I'm going to bring myself up to a seat and wish you well. But I do encourage you to remain in Shavasana and let all of that integrate into your body. Let the mind clear. Let the breath slow down. When you're ready to make your way out of this class or out of this posture, just come to a gentle seat, touch the palms in front of the heart, and dedicate a moment to giving gratitude to yourself for showing up for your practice, for practicing in a way that honors your body and your intention. And you have my gratitude for joining me today. Thank you, and namaste.